lovely day. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are back with another episode of Lovely Reviews. This one is a little late. We didn't get around to doing this one when the movie came out in theater, but I figured I'd go ahead and do it now that it has come out on digital and Blu-ray for Spider-Man Far From Home, the last movie in Phase 3 of Disney and Marvel's MCU. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and get started. Overall thoughts on this movie. Oh my gosh. Are you kidding me? They did it again. Spider-Man Homecoming was so good with the Spider-Man that was set up in Civil War, and they kept it going through Infinity War Endgame, and they just kept it tried and true with this one. It was a fun ride. Did a lot of things that I really, really loved, and going to go over some key moments that I loved. Maybe bring up some stuff that I like, if I can think about it, because there's not a lot of stuff that I don't like in this movie. So yeah, we'll go ahead and get started. When it starts with like a weird scene, kind of establishing Mysterio's out there with Nick Fury and Maria Hill, but that was whatever. But it really starts with the greatest moment in cinematic history. Second greatest, we'll get to the greatest later. Second greatest moment in cinematic history with what I originally thought was a tribute video Peter made for the Fallen Avengers, but it actually ended up being the school's news station, where it's just pixelated images of these heroes and to like I Will Always Love You by Whitney Houston. And then my favorite part is at the very end, they have a Getty's image video with candles and doves, and it's just honoring Tony and Cap and Vision and Natasha, and it's pretty funny. Kind of then it goes into telling you what's going on with the blip. 5 years later, all the people that died have come back, some in a very unfortunate manner, coming back in the middle of a basketball game. Makes you wonder what happened to the people that were like driving cars and in airplanes, but I guess you're not really supposed to think about it. I don't know. We find out that Peter and his classmates are going on a summer vacation tour of Europe, which is fun. He has this whole plan on how he's going to like tell MJ that he loves her and he wants to ask her out and blah, 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 blah. Really funny. Says he's going to give her a Black Dahlia based off the murders because she loves it, which is pretty funny because I feel like there's a lot of girls my age and that age that are really into true crime, and it's kind of weird, but you know, yeah. Spider-Man is having this whole thing how like he doesn't really want to take Spider-Man with him. He kind of just wants to go on his vacation. We see him helping out Aunt May at a homeless shelter, I guess, like some sort of fundraiser for like people coming back from the blip, which is cool. Like I like the idea that like Aunt May knows he's Spider-Man and is basically putting him to work. Happy ends up coming in, tells him, "Hey dude, Nick Fury's gonna call you." Peter's like, "I don't want to talk to Nick Fury, dude. I just want to be Peter for a little bit." And he's like, "Well, Nick Fury's gonna call you, and you don't say no to Nick Fury." And then Peter hangs up or doesn't answer Nick Fury's phone call, which is great. He's having also like a ton of doubts about himself and really missing Tony. One of the best parts about this movie easily is that every time he goes to like a new destination, there's some sort of tribute to Iron Man there. And I mean, this is global. This is, Germany, Venice, everywhere that he's going. Prague, like, it's awesome. Really, really, really cool. Basically, they go on their trip. They have a great time. He gets the jewelry he wants to give to MJ. The next thing you know, bam, water monster, because, it's a superhero movie. And he's like, oh my gosh, this is wild. He's trying to do stuff. He's trying to help people out, but, he doesn't really have his stuff with him. He has his web shooters, and it's cool because he does this cool, like, Power Ranger thing where, like, he bangs his wrists together and they, like, pop out. I don't know, it's pretty sick. And it looks like Peter's not going to have a chance against this guy, and then all of a sudden, boom, looks into the sky, green smoke, and the most badass villain in probably not all of the MCU, but definitely one of my favorite villains. Mysterio comes. Whoops, that was a spoiler. You don't know he's a villain yet, but oh well. He comes, basically saves the day. And this is one of my favorite parts about this movie is just like the way they did Mysterio was so good, where as a comic book fan, I knew Mysterio was a bad guy. I know what his powers are. They're illusions. You know, he is a master of illusions, and anything you think you see when it comes to him isn't there. So it was really cool figuring out like how he was doing it, or even if he was doing it, because at one point I kind of thought, you know, who knows, maybe Mysterio isn't going to be a bad guy, which, you know, is great. I thought Jake Gyllenhaal did an awesome job playing him, which was so cool. We also then get the connection that Mysterio is working with Fury and Hill to stop these elementals. Spider-Man resiliently ends up joining the team at first, and is introduced to Mysterio. Mysterio says he's from an alternate dimension. The multiverse is confirmed, even though he was lying, but it is confirmed because we know it for Doctor Strange. You know, he says his world got destroyed by these monsters. He's here to make sure it doesn't happen to this world. Super cool premise, honestly. It's awesome. Mysterio is very quickly a very likable character, which I think is awesome. He resonates with Peter. There's this great moment where, you know, he says, yeah, I'm from Earth, whatever. Your Earth is 616. And Peter goes, wait, are you saying there's a multiverse? He's like, well, that completely disregards our understandings of science. And then he gets a dirty look from Hill and Fury. He's like, oh, sorry. And Beck, Mysterio, has this awesome line where he just goes, hey, Peter, never apologize for being the smartest guy in the room. And right there is kind of when that relationship starts, where Peter is like, oh, okay, I like this guy. And, you know, even Beck seems to have this level of respect for Peter. They end up making this plan, you know, we got to stop the big boy. The big one is coming, Fire. He's the one that killed my world. He's coming to Prague. Peter's like, dude, I can't go to Prague, you know. I'm Spider-Man. If my classmates saw me in DC and then they saw me here and I disappeared, they're going to figure it out. And Fury's just kind of like, you know what? Okay, I get it. Spider-Man can't be seen here. Oh, well. Peter goes, all right. Goes back. Fury ends up hijacking their vacation. Sends them to Prague instead of Paris where they were supposed to go, I think. On the way there, he gets a suit from this random lady that tells him to strip, which is just so funny. Anyway, they end up going. All throughout this, there's these great little moments where, you know, Peter's flirting with MJ, MJ's flirting back. There's this other guy, Brad, who's trying to get with MJ, but, you know, screw Brad. If you're not Peter, then you don't have a chance. You know what I mean? I know you're nodding right now. On the bus to Prague, this is easily one of the top moments of this movie. Peter opens a gift that Fury had given him from Tony, and it's a pair of glasses, and in it there's a note that says, for the next Iron Man, I trust you. And then it also says, P.S. say Edith. So when Spider-Man puts on the glasses and he says Edith, it basically opens up this whole, I don't even know how to say it, basically like access to this whole like this whole, basically the net. Like Peter has access to the net. It's almost like his own Jarvis, like kind of like Karen was in Homecoming, but more sophisticated, where it's not just really the suit, but it's like everything. He has access to people's personal messages and phone records and drone strikes and everything. And it's like a way to make the world better, which is cool because it really shows you how much trust Tony had in Spidey. He has that. There's a mishap where he almost kills his classmates. Anyway, they end up getting to Prague. Just kind of going to blaze through the story. They end up getting to Prague. They're having a great time. You know, him and MJ are flirting more. They find out that the monster is going to be in the center of like this festival that's going that the classmates were planning on attending. Peter goes, heck no, we can't do that. Fury ends up hooking them up with opera tickets, which is so funny because it's like, God, I would never want to go to an opera. So all the classmates end up having to go to this while the monster is attacking. Monster attacks. Man, it's a tough fight. Spider-Man's in this dope black suit. One of his classmates, the one that's dating Ned, which, oh my gosh, that's a subplot right there. It's like, hey, is that Spider-Man? And Ned is just like, no, that's like the European ripoff. And she's like, well, what's his name? And he goes, Night Monkey. Which is just, it's silly, you know? It's just silly. Anyway, they end up fighting. Oh man, it looks like Mr. Lava Man's gonna get the best of us. And then, great moment, Mysterio's like, I'm gonna do what I should have done a long time ago. He like charges up all like Super Saiyan and like goes into the Molten Man and blows it up. And you kind of thought that he was gonna die when he did that, but no, he was fine. He was just like a little burnt, which was kind of weird. Spidey goes down there. He's like, oh, Mr. Beck, are you all right? That was also a moment watching this movie the second time that I really liked, where it was a parallel to Endgame, where Mysterio was down there looking all like fried, and Spidey comes and kind of like jumps in front of him and goes, Mr. Beck, are you all right? Which was like a parallel to when he saw Tony in Endgame, where he's Mr. Stark, we did it. I thought that was actually really cool. He's fine. Fury comes in, starts giving him crap. Mysterio's like, hey bud, let's go get a beer. And him and Spider-Man go off talking about his problems and this and that. Eventually Spider-Man's like, you know what, dude, I just wanna be me. I don't want to be Spider-Man. I just want to be a 16-year-old kid. I want to tell this girl I like her. I want to enjoy the rest of my vacation. He goes, this is too much responsibility for me. You're a hero. You are a real hero. I think Tony wanted me to pick the next Iron Man, not be the next Iron Man, and I pick you. And Mysterio resiliently ends up taking the Edith glasses. Cool little moment. He takes them. They shake hands. See you next time, kid. Walks out. And when he walks out, Mysterio, these illusions start breaking down. You're like not quite sure what's happening, and then just zooms in on Mysterio, and he's like, now that wasn't so hard, was it? And all these people around him are like, yeah. Because, as figured, Mysterio was conning Spider-Man the whole time. Apparently he was an old Stark employee. This was an amazing moment in the movie where he actually was the creator of Barf, which in Civil War, Tony showed him like the last time he talked to his parents. And he was all mad that Tony renamed it Barf, and then Tony ended up firing him. And he's like, yeah, and for you, I don't remember his name, you also, like, you worked for Tony, and he didn't treat you good. And it was the guy that Obadiah Stane yells at in Iron Man 1. And it's awesome. It's like all these guys, all these characters, like, had former relationships with Tony or worked for Stark in some way. I kind of wish that they would have shown more, like, of those flashbacks with them. But, only so much time in a movie. I'll take the two that I got. I thought those were really awesome. Let's see. So yeah, you figure out he's a bad guy. Spidey goes back. He's all fresh and rejuvenated. He decides, I'm going to take MJ out. Had to get some of that water in me. Stay hydrated, He, he's got to get his, he's got to go take MJ out. They're going to have a great time. She's all excited. He's like, MJ, I really wanted to tell you something. And she goes, you're Spider-Man. And he's like, what? No, of course not. Nah, nah, nah. And she's like, well, how am I found this? And she found like some weird mechanism with spider webs on it. And he's like, oh no. And like they touch it and then poof, you see some sort of Mysterio illusion, right? And kind of clicks for Peter. He's like, oh no, Mysterio was a con the whole time, blah, 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 blah. He goes back. He's got to go meet Fury. He's got to tell him the news. So he goes to, where'd she go? Berlin? I don't know, somewhere in Germany. to go meet Fury. And right when he's about to tell Fury everything, Fury gets shot, bop, by Mysterio. And this is when the greatest scene in the entire movie, and I think, honestly, a top 5, if not top 3 scene in all of the MCU happens, where there's this amazing illusion scene where you don't know it's real, and it was like a Spider-Man cartoon or comic book come right to life, where he's fighting other versions of himself, and Mysterio's super big, and then he's super small, and then there's an amazing moment where he shows there's this great moment where he's like, "You're not enough, Spider-Man. Like, if you were enough, Tony would still be alive." And it shows Tony's grave, and then a zombie Iron Man pops out and starts crawling towards Spider-Man, and just such an amazing scene. And then Spider-Man thinks he's finally out of the illusion. Mysterio comes up to him and is like, blah, rah, 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 and then he gets shot by Fury. And at this moment, I was like, whoa. I was like, where is this movie going? I was like, there's still some time left. Like, what's going on here? And then, Nick's like, who else did you tell? We need to know. Beck's going to have hits on him. He's like, okay, I told this person, this person, this person. And then he just starts laughing, and you're like, oh my God, he's still in the simulation. And yeah, it turns out he's still in the simulation. Like, Mysterio is just completely inside this head. And one of the things that I love Mysterio so much about, or one of the things I love so much about Mysterio is, while Vulture was strong, Mysterio is very cerebral. It's like his illusions help him in everything, but at the end of the day, his power was that he was smart. He was outsmarting everyone, including Peter, and especially in this moment. Spidey gets hit by a train, yay! Jump forward to another amazing moment that I just love is when he has been beat up. He's in a Swedish prison or like a Netherlands prison or whatever. Happy ends up coming to get him, and this is it's game time, guys. Mysterio's gonna kill his friends. He's got to save him. He needs a suit. He's like, I need a suit. And then in the back of this Stark jet with only him and Happy in it, he starts building this suit, and it's just so reminiscent of Iron Man 1 when he puts his hand in the web shooter, like Tony with the glove, and he's showing stuff, and he looks at Happy, and he's like, what? Why are you looking at me like that? And he's like, nothing. He's like, you work on the suit, I got the music. And he plays AC/DC Back in Black, and that was like, I almost cried, to be honest, because like, if you know why, like, that's just so important to this whole franchise, and that was so awesome. Oh man, it was so great. Spider-Man ends up going. He ends up taking out all the drones. Then he gets to the point where he has to fight Mysterio. He does a really cool thing where this whole time during the movie there's been kind of like this C plot where like his spider sense or Peter Tingle isn't working, and basically what he has to do is he has to close his eyes, which is dope because his lenses go like completely shut, so it just looks like he has black eyes, which is so fresh. And he basically just uses his sixth sense to get all the way to Mysterio, and he beats him. While doing that, Mysterio gets hit with a bullet from one of the drones. Spidey's like, why are you doing this? Da, 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 blah, blah, blah. Blah, 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 blah. And then out of nowhere, and it got me the second time watching it too, he just like grabs to his right, and it's like, bam, gunshot. And it was another illusion where Mysterio was standing next to him with a gun to his head. He does that. Mysterio actually ends up dying. Before that, Spidey takes back Edith, is like, execute all the drones, stop them all, blah, blah, blah. And Edith says, this is one of my conspiracies. Edith says that in the room there are no other illusions. Everything he sees is real, meaning that Mysterio is really dead. I don't buy that. Two reasons. One reason, one possible outcome. Reason one, when Spidey originally gives Mysterio the Edith glasses. He has to hand over control. He says, like, Edith, hand over access to Quentin Beck or whatever. So I thought it was interesting that he just put the glasses back on and didn't have to get control back, like if he was just saved in the system or whatever. So I thought that was weird. So it was like, well, maybe Edith could have maybe not lied. Maybe that itself was an illusion, which could easily be something that could be retconned. And then also, there were all these thoughts about the chameleon being in the movie. So I could see them going back and saying, that actually wasn't Quentin. That was the chameleon the whole time, and you just never knew. So it was a dead body. It just wasn't the dead body you thought it was. Also could have been really awesome. Anyway, yay. He saved the day. He gets MJ. They go back home. They're dating now. They're kissing. Ned and his girlfriend broke up, but they're more grown from it. So cute. We get a great moment of him swinging around Manhattan, which is the first time we've actually gotten to see Tom Holland Spider-Man swing around like skyscrapers, which is super dope. We saw him swing in space before we saw him swing with skyscrapers. He's taking out MJ, and that's where the movie ends. Get our first end credit scene, which is it's up there for some of the best. It takes place right after he drops her off. She's like, I'm never doing that again, which is pretty funny. And then it's like, oh, breaking news. It's kind of like a Times Square type area. It might be Times Square, I don't remember. It's like breaking news, new revelations coming out of what happened in London with Mysterio. And basically what it is it's a video having Mysterio where because he was seen as a hero by everyone. The only people that know that he was fake was Spider-Man, some of his classmates, and I guess Fury and Hill. He made a video making it seem like he got attacked by Spider-Man. Spider-Man had all these drones come and kill all these civilians. And then the kicker at the end, by the way, in this, J. Jonah Jameson, J.K. Simmons himself, comes back, reprises his role. Amazing. I hope to see more of it. Especially now that Spider-Man's back in the MCU. Hallelujah. Originally, I didn't think I was going to buy this movie because they were going to get kicked out. And I was like, that's just going to be really sad for me. But now he's back. So I got it. Best $25 I spent recently. Ooh, right behind this Nike crew neck I got the other day at Ross. It's hella comfy. Anyway, J.K. Simmons is like, he's a menace. Mysterio was the real hero. Can't believe he did this. But guys, wait, here's the kicker. And Mysterio says, Peter, he goes, Spider-Man's real name is Peter. And it cuts out. And then it comes back and it goes, Peter Parker. And it shows a picture of him on the screen. And it's like, what the? Which is like the end of Homecoming. So that's where the movie basically ends. We get another scene later where Hill and Fury were Skrulls the whole time, and Fury is up in space. Whatever. That's cool. That's setting up something else. But the big thing about this movie is that Peter's identity is out to the world. They think he killed hella people. They think he killed Mysterio. And where does he go from that? I think it could be a really cool setup for... Personally, I think a really cool villain for the next one could be Kraven. Kraven coming to hunt. Also, I think a great moment in the next one could be the return of Mysterio. Like, he really isn't dead. This was all a ruse. He could come back because, like, all great heroes, they come back from the dead. So that would be an amazing, like, thing for him to do. And then it would be a great way kind of to finish his story, to be like, show to the whole world, oh no, guess what? Mysterio really is bad. He's not a good guy. So I think it's a shoo-in. Mysterio is not dead. He will come back. If he doesn't, I'll be very, very surprised. I don't think I could say enough good things about the movie. It's not as fresh in my head as I wish it was, even though I just watched it last night. I thought great comedy. I loved all the JB Smoove things where he was like, Martin Starr, the other teacher, I don't remember his name, was like, hey, what do you think all this stuff is? And JB Smoove goes, being a man of science, it's witches. Like, he just has this, like, running joke about witchcraft. I don't know. I found that really funny. Great little, like, comedic moments there They're just fun, and it's kind of like, now that there's two of these movies, it's kind of what you would expect. So it's what I would expect from a third one that comes out in 2021. And gosh, dude, I cannot wait. I'm so glad they fixed all of that. The whole MCU Spider-Man Sony thing. I think it's great. I mean, obviously, it was all came down to money, but all that I care about is I get more of what I love. So those are kind of my thoughts on Spider-Man Far From Home. A little update. I don't know what the next video I will be. It might have to take some inspiration. The next movie comes out in like May, so that is a long time from now. I might do some like theories on what I think the Disney Plus shows are going to be. Because if I do keep doing these reviews, I will definitely do them for the Disney Plus shows, because I cannot wait. Winter Soldier and Falcon? Are you kidding me? Loki? Sweet? Hawkeye? Are you kidding me? Moon Knight? Mark Spector himself? Marvel's version of Batman, but in a weird way cooler. Don't tell anyone I said that, because Batman's my favorite, but Moon Knight's just so freaking awesome. Yeah. So I guess we're gonna wrap it up. This is the part where I throw it to you. Let me know what you guys think. And let me know what you think. Let me know what you think the future of Tom Holland Spider-Man is gonna be. Do you think Mysterio's really dead? Who do you think the villain in the next movie is gonna be? Do you think that Ned and Betty will get back together? I think that's the question that all of us are thinking. And do you think... Nay. I'm not even going to say it. I'm going to do it right now, live. And by live, I mean pre-recorded. I'm in front of all of you that are listening right now, going to pray to the man above that we get another High School News video. That's all I want. I'll take it right now. You don't even have to give me Spider-Man 3. Just give me an hour and a half of that. I'm kidding. Give me Spider-Man 3. I want it really bad. Sinister 6, baby. Let's go. Homecoming. Let's go. Anyway, guys, that's it for this. I encourage you to check out some past videos. Maybe Endgame review, Captain Marvel review, Black Panther review. That one I had my boy Carlos on. And I will catch you guys next time. Have a lovely day.